Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage.
Ooh, mama, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen, this right here, this is what we call subtle. This is what you'd probably want to go get some groceries in, maybe take to church, park in the front of church, just rev it up. I'm just kidding, no, you don't want to do that. Anyway, what we have here is seriously not incognito, but I will say this to you. They have definitely made the effort to let you know that this is a show car. As we walk around this car, the attention to detail, the dollars spent on this thing, you cannot build this car for more than twice of what the asking price is. So I gotta tell you, if you're looking for a blower car and a Chevelle fits what you're hoping to get into your life, man, I'm telling you, you need to find a way to get this car yesterday, because somebody's looking at it and you're gonna miss out and you end up spending yourself $80,000 or $90,000 trying to build yourself something like this, and it's already done for you, it's sorted out, and then you're ready to cruise the very next day. So in here we normally have these hanging tags on the cars, and this one here happens to have 2 full sheets. Normally it's just 1, 2 full sheets of things around here. So unfortunately, because there's so many things that have been done to the car, I'm gonna have to read off it a little bit because it's hard to remember everything about every car that we've ever had. So it's claimed to be somewhere around $80,000 spent on this car getting it to this level. And as you look around the detail and the high performance pieces, you can easily see that. Just the engine and supercharger system alone can be in the $20,000 to $25,000 range. Not to mention to have a transmission to back it up, a rear end to back that up. You know, you're not putting 400 or 500 horsepower in a Maserati or a Ferrari and putting a tiny Fiat rear suspension in the car. You gotta make everything up, and this one here, that's exactly what he's done. So come on over here and check out this paint for a second, because it is ridiculous. They call it Sunburst Bronze, and it is just absolutely mirror finish. And check out how cool. So it has gold flake laid underneath, and then it has these really nicely done ghost flames in here. I don't know if you can see them in there, which is what I really like, because if you're not a huge flames person, you know, bright white flames might be just too much for you, but this is so subtle that only the light picks it up once in a while. Matter of fact, you can barely even see it in here, but when the sunlight hits it, or those night lights when you go to a car show, will certainly do all that for you, okay? All right, so we got centerline wheels all tucked in here with the right amount of rubber. Got disc brakes all there. We got the Hoosiers up front, and then we got these nice sticky Hoosiers back here. All right, I suggest that you learn how to drive this car a little bit before you floor it for the first time. You can take it out and you get yourself some practice driving around, giving some throttle, shifting, things like that, because this is one of those cars that likes to be pointed straight when you go ahead and get on the gas and you give it all that it has to offer. All right. Beautiful body on the car, the paint, and just that part alone was somewhere in the 10 to 15,000 range is what we heard. I like to give a range because they don't really have a receipt for it, but the good thing is you can clearly see how much time and effort was put into something like that. All right, so I've talked about the paint, the body, and stuff like that. Let's take a peek under the hood, because when you go to a car show or whatever, you know, you want to have show, but you also got to have go. Come check this out for a second. Wow! Color-matched carburetors, color-matched air cleaner, stainless braided hoses, catch tank. Look at the size of the radiator. The radiator is this big. It's so big it barely fits inside the front of the car, and it has electric fans on it. So listen, you say to yourself, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, let me tell you what the big deal is. Like this car here, it's 468 cubic inches, right? It's got a blower on it, carburetors feeding it. It makes a lot of power, and a lot of power comes heat. And if you don't control the heat, then you're going to be embarrassed going to some place where you pull up and the car either dies from overheating, or you pull into the parking space and it's throwing up all over the ground. This guy here was a fanatic of making sure that all of his little stuff worked. For instance, everything, the systems all work together, okay? But come check out some more detail in here. Look at this. Nobody ever does this. They painted all of this gloss black. Even the suspension is painted gloss black. The steering arm is painted gloss black. All the detail in here, from the braided lines, this chrome cover. Look at this. Even the latch system has more shine on it than most new cars do. The horn's even painted gloss black. This is not like a spray bomb. This is painted individually, each part, stainless fasteners, and spectacular paint. New chrome bumpers, new emblems. As we look at this car, you can keep going, wow, wow, wow. Here, check this out for a second. Look at underneath here. Everything is brand new. Suspension, sway bars, steering bar. Look at the skid plate for the engine right there, in case you get just a little too much up in the air, right, and it comes down. no harm to be done to the headers, or that's a great thought, man. I don't know why more people don't do that, because you see so many cars with the headers that are just crushed because the cars make a lot of power. The front end comes up, it comes back down, and then you know, you're defeating the high horsepower exhaust system that you put on the car by closing up that. Okay, look at the detail under here too, man. It's all just painted, wet sanded, buffed. I want to show you something that a lot of people skip and miss out. This is all welded closed. So when they cut this out, they cut out the hood brace, but then they welded it closed and fabricated these pieces in there, and look at how finished it is. It looks really nice. All right, so listen, this is where a lot of detail and money is spent. You need to come check this out. All right, so you could go ahead and you could throw a big engine in a car and a transmission in a rear, but you know what? Sooner or later, something's going to break if everything is not paired and matched together. So this right here has a coilover rear suspension. Everything is welded into the frame and around and boxed in, so that the rear end doesn't come out of the car, that the car gets the proper traction, and that the car also, the most important thing, goes straight. But you can see the level of detail in here, even the way the exhaust system is tucked up underneath here. It's just really, really done nicely. All new chrome, stainless. You saw how beautiful it was underneath. All right, let's check out some more detail here, okay? Not everybody has to do this. People don't have to order a stainless polished fuel cell, okay, with a gas gauge in it, all right? That's kind of a nice feature that most people don't do. The gas gauge is a big deal, so get it in there, get it wired up, get it part of the rest of the ancillary gauges, and normally you just fill up the gas, hit your odometer, and that's how far you can go. But this one here, the extra effort. Look at the splatter coat and the painting, the welding. See all the detail in the welding here? Look how beautifully done all of that is. And not just regular rubber hoses, right? This right here, like heavy duty, real deal stuff, okay? The kind of cool thing about a fuel cell is this one here has the foam inside of it, and what it does is suspends the gas in the foam, so if something was to happen and this was to rupture, gas wouldn't come pouring out all over the place. And when you have this kind of horsepower, you have to have this safety cell here so that you can go to certain tracks. And it sounds nice when you close it on top of it. All right, let's check out the inside here. All right, this is nice, guys. You got to spend a minute in here with me. Okay, so what we got here right now is, if you want to, and this is totally up to you, these gauges don't necessarily have to be here, because it has the Dakota digital dash in here with all the gauges already here. It's got a tachometer with a shift meter in it, so you know when to shift the car, okay? And that would clean up this whole area. But some people love these big gauges, and we're happy to leave them here if you want. You tell us what you want to do. Shows you how many % of fuel is left in the tank, like we talked about, having a fuel gauge in there. Right here, tells you a little about the air-fuel ratio, so you know the car's running properly. Boost for the blower system in there. You know, it just goes on and on. All the dash is new. The seat covers, the foam inside the seats, the carpets, the console, the headliner, the rear seat, the package tray, all of that stuff is brand new. And the cool thing about this is you can take another couple with you, because this car cruises really nicely all day long. It's set up to drive. It was not set up to be this, you know, beast that can only handle, 10,000 octane gas, can only go a quarter mile at a time. This car was designed to go for a drive. It's fast, don't get me wrong, it's plenty fast, all right? But it's meant to be a street car as well, so that you can enjoy some fun time with it. The kids would love this car, man. You throw them in the back, give it a little goose like this, right, with the gas pedal, they'll be giggling all night long. Anyway, so it had a bunch more to it that was on this list, and I was just trying to read down everything that was on there, but I think we covered a lot of stuff, and then when I close up the video, we'll just run down this one more time. But as you can see from everything in here, it's just really, really nice, and essentially you're really getting like a new car. All right, listen, let me run down this list for you. And we got this from the builder of the car. And he says that he claims that he had over $80,000 in the car. 468 cubic inch supercharged twin Hollies, right? Making 750 horsepower, okay? Wow. Bought the transmission from B&M, okay? Heavy duty, all of that in there. The rear end all set up by Moser parts, 4-link suspension, coilover suspension as well. And then you talk about the paint. He claims he paid $18,000 for the paint on this car, and it is it could easily be, and that may have included the restoration as well, because if you look underneath this car, it's all brand new in there, and it looks really, really nice. Essentially, you're getting like this new kind of Pro Street touring Chevelle. And I was running down the Dakota digital dash, the console setup, the buckets, the colors of the car. Everything is there for you to enjoy, have some fun, go for a drive. And this car was meant to drive, man. This wasn't meant to be sitting in your collection collecting dust. It wasn't meant to just go to the drag strip on a trailer. This was meant to drive to the drag strip if you wanted, right? Or go to a car show or some cruising night. I'm not suggesting that you light them up when you leave the car show, because I've never done that. All right, I'm not really telling the truth, but let's just say I'm not suggesting you do it, but if you do, send me a video. I want to see it. Anyway, call us 301-816-1000. Find a way to get this Pro Street Chevelle Super Sport in your garage.